I guess what's at the heart of it is a desire to tell the stories that so often aren't told. We hear the history is written by the winners. We hear the military history. We hear about the kings and queens, and this is what people are experiencing all over the world in wartime, and this is what my relations experienced.
Sometimes I wonder if I really belong on this planet. This is the Alaska Highway. We've stopped outside Fort Nelson, BC, and blazoned across the back of a trailer attached to a pickup truck from Florida are the words, "God, guts, guns, made America free. Let's keep all three." I grabbed the little Nikon to get a good shot. In addition to God, guts, etc., are a number of bumper stickers proclaiming the owner's peculiar identity. Veterans for Bush strikes me as singularly bizarre.
So we chose to work together to write this, Nicola, my mother, and I, telling the stories of my mother, her great aunt, who lost a son in the Second World War. She was an American.
You want to hear a funny story? It's, well, it's maybe not so funny, but it's a good one. The silver shirts, those momsers, those fascist bastards, they want to have a rally, think they can scare us. That idiot on the radio, Father Coughlin. Not a religion, that hazard. Happy 4th of July.
Her mother, who came from Lithuania in 1888, all the information we had about her was a little photo, and the information, a little photo, she's looking very stubborn almost, and underneath it says, 1887, refused to go to America with her husband. 1888, went to America, refused to learn English. So we made her into a very stubborn character on the boat coming over.
And now, look at me, on this great stinking ship going to America. America. Land of dreams. The man's right hand with dreams, and his left hand with dread. Only one will be full by the end of the day.
So her, and then she left behind a sister in Lithuania. So we didn't play her, but we played her daughter. And that woman is the woman who survived the Holocaust. Her and her 4 daughters survived.
We stayed in the shed the following day, afraid to go out. We filled the time drawing in the dust on the floor. In the afternoon, I heard gunshots and screams and a crowd moving down the road, but I couldn't see. In the evening, I crept outside. The girls didn't want me to go. They were terrified I wouldn't return, but we needed water. In the ditch by the road, I found a slow trickle, enough to fill the bottle. And then I saw, 5 meters away, bodies.
We chose which characters we would work on, and then we each would take a piece, like, okay, I think I can write about, when the Nazis come to the house or whatever. And we just started to write, and we would write each day, and then each afternoon we would get together and read each other's work and go from there. So it all kind of grew quite organically that way. And also integrating the writing that my mother had already done about being in the Yukon and about her childhood and about leaving the States.
So many photographs. So many stories. Like a warning flare from the past into the present, into now.
The first challenge was deciding what to keep and what not to keep. I had traveled to Lithuania. I'd heard these stories firsthand, everything has a value and a preciousness to it. It was very difficult for me to be able to do that.
We'd taken in a Japanese student from California to live with us, Mariko. Her name was Mariko. She was attending university. She helped with the cleaning and she studied. Well, then came Pearl Harbor, and Michael signed up. Well, Mariko had a brother in Texas who had a job as a chicken sexer. Can you believe it? He'd stick his little hand in there right after they're born and feel around for, you know, what's what, and divide them up. The hens here and the roosters there. Well, because he was a chicken sexer, he had to have a two-way radio in his truck because he had to be there right away when the eggs hatched so that he could sex the chickens. So he has the radio in his truck and he gets arrested. They think he's a Japanese spy, for heaven's sake.
Well, one thing that was really interesting about going to Lithuania was getting a better sense of the Soviet oppression that went on. You know, we've heard a lot about the Nazis in the Second World War, but the Soviets were, you know, they give the Nazis a run for their money.
The men come from another street. You can tell they are Russian. When they get close enough, I can see their lips are a thin, flat line. Mommy?
Hiya, go inside.
But I didn't, I couldn't.
Hiya, go.
Everything stopped right then. Mommy looked at the men.
What do you want? You have been conducting a private business. Oh, and it's against the law to feed my family. Come with us. Do you think so? Get your things.
Mama's face changed.
She flew at the man, but he was much stronger than her, and he grabbed her arms at the wrists. If God lived on earth, his windows would be broken.
A big motivator for us to create this show was the fact that the Iraq War was happening. And wanting to speak up about this, take some kind of action. And the action I could see to take was to tell these stories of what wartime experience is like, what it was like then, back Second World War in Europe, Second World War in the States, even further back when my great-great-grandmother came in 1888. They were fleeing the pogroms. Same stories, same experience, and chances are that's happening in Iraq. That image of the trailer, God Guts Guns Made America Free, let's keep all three, like how insane that is. And it's the same stuff over and over again.
I start to dig a hole. All I have is a teaspoon, but I start. When they march us to work in the factories, I watch and I see where the hole will come through. I dig here, the hole will come out here. And each day, I walk past that place and search out where we will run, how we will get through the streets and into the forest. For 4 nights, I dig my little hole until I'm exhausted. And then I hear it. Tomorrow they will do a children's action. Oh God, not my girls. I dig ferociously. I don't care anymore. We will get up tonight if I have to eat the dirt with my mouth.
I was amazed by what these women had lived through. I often think when I see some marble statue of some, general in a square, I think my cousin Miriam should be on there, carved in marble. What she lived through, that she survived with her 4 daughters during wartime, during the Soviets, it's incredible. She's an incredible woman. And learning about her stories was so moving for me to connect with that family so far away who'd been so isolated. With no family to support them, and those are universal stories. I mean, she's just one woman of so many. For every one of her who did survive, there were, you know, proportionally 9.5 who didn't. And, you know, for not because they weren't also, you know, strong and smart and all of that. And all over the world, there's these stories in people's families that are remarkable.